Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to come on here and say something really quick about this posthumous Prince album. This is the first record of newly released music from Prince that we have received since his passing years ago. And while I was a little unenthusiastic about the prospect of digging through the Prince archives and commercially releasing music that he might not have been comfortable with selling, putting out there, etc. I'm actually pretty pleased, pretty happy with this first offering over here. And hopefully any following posthumous releases to come are as well assembled, sort of tastefully executed, and helpful to Prince's memory as the fantastic musician that he was. Now, this thing is just 9 tracks, 34 minutes, and if you didn't hear already, or if you couldn't tell from the title of this thing, it's literally sort of like a live impromptu recording of Prince on the microphone, at the piano, sort of flowing through a series of different tracks. Some of which kind of segue into one another, some of which have cold finishes and starts. And it's really an incredible and intimate little listen. You know, I wouldn't get your expectations too high in terms of like for example, Purple Rain is on this album. However, it's just like a little 1 minute and 20-second interpretation. However, he does flow really quickly into a beautiful little rendition of Joni Mitchell's A Case of You immediately after, which was actually really nice. I wish it was something that he had expounded on a little bit more in this recording. The Mary Don't You Weep recording is powerful. The swaying piano groove on that thing and Prince's voice are incredible. Cold Coffee and Cocaine is a Prince rarity where he delivers over these really low down piano riffs some really raspy and strange vocals. It's almost as if he's trying to do his best Tom Waits impersonation or something. Again, it's actually pretty incredible, and maybe not one of my favorite songs of his, but definitely one of my favorite recorded performances I've ever heard from him, because it's just so impeccably strange. But he was known to be kind of a freaky guy, and that certainly comes out in that song, and I think in some of the other tracks here too, because one of the most beautiful things about this record is literally just how stripped back and how simple it is, and yet how passionate the performances are, how great the vocals are, how tight the piano playing is. The dude was just a monster, and I think this album is certainly a reminder of something that is really lacking in a lot of modern music today. And not to say that, hey, there's just one way to skin a cat, one way to be a good musician, so on and so forth, but this album is really a show of Prince's raw talent. I would submit to you that there are a lot of artists out there today that you couldn't just throw in front of a piano and a microphone and expect 30 minutes of straight quality entertainment, you know, or really it just in front of whatever instrument of choice that they may want. Because again, I think a lot of the appeal of today's music, it comes down to a lot of production value. It comes down to a lot of PR, and it comes down to basically a lot of effort to prevent you from seeing that person in a very stripped back, a very personal state, without all the bells and whistles sort of surrounding them and building up their image. This album is the exact opposite of that. That's part of the magic of it. The whole thing, it just sounds so casual. It sounds so casual. It sounds so effortless. It sounds like he's just doing this without a whole lot of forethought. However, it sounds fantastic. It sounds great. And you know, maybe my conception of these performances is incorrect. But if it is, I think that only goes to show just how easy Prince sort of makes these performances sound, or at least how easy it must have been for him to do this stuff. Because again, man was just a great multi-instrumentalist, songwriter, singer, and a musical monster. And I would not, if you are a pop fan of any stripe, I would not miss out on the opportunity to hear him in rare form on this little album over here. So those are my thoughts on this thing. Let me know what you guys think about this record down in the comments. Definitely one of the most promising posthumous releases that I've heard so far this decade, and it certainly makes me excited. Again, given how tastefully assembled this record is, of what's to come. You know, if there are going to be more releases like this coming down the pipe, because that would certainly be nice. So over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up, or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Prince, Piano and a Microphone, 1983, forever.